What is up? What is up, YouTube? Hey, check it out. My bad, man. Can I start all over? I should start. I was supposed to. They said in the comments, no McDonald's, no McDonald's. I like the McFrappe, man. Oops. And I like the French fries. I love McDonald's, man. I'm sorry. That's my weakness. Fast food is my weakness. Check this out. Before we get started, man, I want to apologize again. I'm going to apologize for about 10 videos, man. I did a video, Tisa Tells. You know, Uncle Mike ain't wrapped too tight. The daggone video was 9 months old. But even 9 months old, Tisha was given some wrong information, and she human. I think that she didn't do it on purpose. I reacted to it, and I was sized because it was like what she said was Diddy had fired Mark, the lead lawyer. And I thought it was new news because we know the case. Everybody know the case went down. Everybody know Diddy was found guilty on 2 different charges. Mark was still there the whole case. The whole thing. And then he made a speech at the end and all that stuff. So I assumed, because it was Tisa Tells, and I was so excited that Mark got fired. Yeah. So I ran and did. I do that every time. There was a video a long time ago when Diddy first went to jail, and the video said Diddy escaped from jail. Diddy busted out of jail. I ran down here and clicked on the thing and started doing the reaction video, and that was fake. So sometimes Uncle Mike could jump the gun too fast, and I apologize. But I'm reacting to what she said. Now she the one put the wrong information up there. Shout out to her, man. Shout out, bless her heart. We all human. We are human. I still support my sis. I 100% Yana. So, and I was grabbing the shirt and everything, man. So I apologize, man. I didn't know. I just did the reaction to it. So there. So the 2 subscribers that left, y'all can come back since I apologize. You gonna lose all your subscribers. You spreading lies. Go spread your daggone. I would say go spread your cheeks, but anyway, check this out, man. Shout out to Sean Otwood, man. Congratulations. Is this his? Oh, honey, I ain't bring my glass. Yes, I did. Uncle Mike's so crazy. I thought I forgot my glasses. Come find out I didn't. Check it out, man. Epstein niece drops jaw-dropping names and has proof. Trump responds. Oh, this is on the Max channel. She was on Sean Otwood channel, man, and we did a reaction to that. And shout out to her, man. Hey, do Uncle Mike got to do everything? God dang. We got the Dr. Umar. Y'all heard about what happened to him? Why everybody got to be fat liars? Damn. Hold on. Dr. Umar raised over $1 million talking about opening up a school for last 10 years, I think. And I'm trying to always go under the radar. It's probably more than 10 years. And for some reason, the school never opened. Dude, that's a hard task, man. Come on, you can't open up no goddamn school with that little bit of money. What about who gonna be the principal? How do you hire a principal? I don't even know how to build a school, not alone put the lunchroom together so that people can come get do they get free lunch or on the lockers? How you get lockers in the teachers? The cancer. Oh my God, yo, you done bump your head if you think who gonna build the playground for the damn school? For the kids. Ah, man, you know what? If I would, you know what I would do? I would start off with a little daycare to help kids. I could at least feed them until their parents come pick them up. Anyway, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's see what Trump lying about. Lord have mercy. Where my headphones at, man? Let's check it out. let's get into this.
Trump goes in front of the media and goes scorched earth. He drops names, he drops timelines, he actually drops that he's going to give money back to the American people. He makes fun of other countries. I mean, this man had a vendetta today. We're going to talk about what he actually says, some of the bombshells, and some of what he actually dropped, as in some pretty big news for Americans. All this was just in a matter of a few seconds. One thing I have to give him is he can drive a news story, and he can actually change the narrative. We're going to discuss all the things that he talked about because I think they're huge. Then we're going to discuss what Elon Musk said about Bitcoin and crypto. He may not be a big fan of this. I actually was kind of surprised by this statement he made. I think what we're actually seeing is what is the end result of Bitcoin. We're also going to talk about what the central bankers are saying about Bitcoin. This is my proof. If you are interested in crypto or digitized stable coins, anything like that, I want you to listen to what these guys say, because there is a plan. Why do you think the biggest players are buying into it? Just because what the central banker just said. It will blow your mind, and I think that's why Elon is actually saying, I'm not for it. Actually, I was blown away. He said it's more of a meme, it's more of a joke. I don't actually consider it something important. And then lastly, we're going to jump into what Epstein's niece says. Now, this story just come out, so hopefully we'll have some updates soon, but it's pretty scary what she said, but it will show the power that these people may have here on Earth now. We'll discuss it. It's kind of weird, kind of scary, very disturbing. Let's go over all these things, from Trump to the files to some breaking news when it comes to how money may be coming back to some of you in America. Let's dive into these stories. This video starts right now.
Hey, tunga 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 song. Come on.
Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new, we humbly ask that you subscribe to the channel. You give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you think about the channel for sure. We have struggled. So we do need your support, and I hope that you'll share our content and give us a thumbs up. That does mean that you like the content. Now let's jump into the stories. First, let's talk about what Trump was just, nailing on yesterday and today as he was going in front of the media. He just dropped some major bombs, and what these things were when he says something, no matter if you're on the left or right, you gravitate to it. No matter what he says, it's gonna change the news cycle for the day. So let's just go over a few things and then let's talk about them, and then we'll jump into the other stories, because the situation with the Epstein files and his niece, that is a scary thing, and you need to hang on for that one. That's a good story. All right, first let's talk about the information dealing with what he just said about the money and how it could benefit you and how he wants to help out Americans. You know, yesterday I told you that Americans are actually struggling. Wall Street's doing good, but Americans are struggling. So, of course, he's not listening to me, but hopefully more people are bringing this to his attention. Wall Street investments, great, but listen to this. Trump says that he is looking at doing a lower income American rebate because tariffs revenues are coming in. He wants to help out Americans. Here's his quote. It says, "We're thinking about a rebate because we have so much money coming in. A little rebate for the people is nice. A good certain income level may be very nice. The big thing is we want to pay the debt down. But if we can help Americans, especially the lower among us, we want to be able to help them because that's part of making America great again." Now that's huge news. You know, we talked about these stimulus checks not too long ago. I'm against stimulus, but if you're using money that's saved and you want to help out the lowest Americans, I'm not for basic income. I'd rather pay off the debts. But I do think this is, again, a good move to help change the media narrative. I mean, honestly, did you see this week UFOs? We have UFOs again. So it's amazing how this media narrative is changing versus the files that we're going to be discussing. But I think this is a good move for his base and for him to hopefully build back some trust with American people, for the working class people. Now, of course, I'm working class too, but to be honest with you, I really hope that this is not a big handout. I really hope that we see the money that came in June, like for instance, the surpluses that we've been talking about from the tariffs and what's coming in July, and they said even in August, especially when this deadline is, that it could actually be monster amounts of revenue coming in.
Okay.
Well, again, I'm okay if you want to give a little bit back, but ultimately what I would rather you see is cut the tax on people and pay this money that's coming in down on debt. Instead of giving money back to the people, which I know helps the economy, I would rather you save all Americans money by cutting the tax rates. That would be my push. But
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that. They gonna give you more money because they want you to spend more money. Economy. It's all about the economy. The more money they have in their pocket, and these are broke people, these are broke-minded people, the more money they got, the more money they're gonna spend. They don't never save. I don't care how much money income they have, they're not gonna do any saving. Think about that. You think about that. Well, I can't save because you got too many bills, so you need more money, and you still don't save.
I thought that was a big news story that he dropped. Now let's go to two other news stories that he dropped. I mean, because they were asking him and he was letting them go. President Trump also said that he will be giving out a list of influential people and hedge fund managers who are basically living with Epstein. He said, this is the big one. This is where he starts naming names. You should be focused on Clinton. You should be focused on the former president of Harvard. You should be focused on hedge fund guys. That is the people that you should be focused on. He even said that Clinton went 28 times. Now, the whole time we were thinking it was definitely more politicians, bigger stars. But did you hear? He kept saying the heads of state, the billionaires and the hedge funds. So this could be a very big deal when it comes to Wall Street. This might be the biggest deal of why politicians are not wanting to release a list because of some of their biggest donors. And we'll talk more on the list in just a second. It'll blow your mind. But let's keep on going with what he's saying. Trump tells Europeans, someone asked him about Europeans, I told you, he's just dropping bombs. Stop the windmills. You're ruining your countries. You're killing your birds. You're ruining your oceans. On immigration, stop the invasion. You better get your act together or you're not going to have a Europe anymore. Now, I want to say that same thing to our Democrats and say the same thing to the rhino Republicans. These are the same talking points that we need to listen to for ourselves, too, to say, look, we don't need to let our country go to nothing. I look at our cities. There was a conversation happening yesterday about Los Angeles, and they said, yeah, at one time, it was like a beacon of hope. It was beautiful. It was like we got to the end of the continent, and everybody built this gorgeous, beautiful city. And he said, now all you see is so much drug use. All you see is people literally lurched over homeless shelters, encampments. He said it is absolutely embarrassing for our country. Well, the more we allow for non-good leadership, the more that we allow ourselves to falter and actually become like every other country and every other liberal ideology like Europe, like we were just talking about, the more we're going to see the same things happen. So I hope that Trump is not only saying this to Europe, I hope he's saying this to our leaders, our Republican leaders, to say, look, if we don't watch it, we're doing the same thing. We're going to put all these initiatives forward, which is going to ultimately not help us do anything. We're going to lose energy. We're going to open up the borders to where, like, for instance, one of the Republicans and 14 other Republicans are wanting this amnesty bill, which is going to give amnesty for tons of people. They call it dignity. Quit changing the words. It's a play on words. It's amnesty. You see how easily people are manipulated. So Republicans are on this same thing. Well, hey, maybe we should slow these raids down. Maybe we need to keep the farmers on the farms. Maybe we need to help the immigrants there. It's very easy. So Trump, again, was kind of calling out, I think not only Europe, but actually calling out the American politicians too. Say, look, if you want your country to actually stay a country, you got to quit doing these practices. It's literally killing your country. And one last one, he says, Trump rejected the Palestinian state and mocks Macron for recognizing the Palestinian state after Qatar invested $11 billion in France. The Muslims and woke right need to realize that Trump will not give in to this Islamo-fascist propaganda. That's from Laura Loomer. Now, I'll be honest with you. I love what he said right here, and I want you to pay attention and make sure you understand what I'm saying. Donald Trump said back in 2016, now that's been, almost 10 years ago. He said, we have the biggest problem being a Muslim problem. What have I shown you the last few days? And I think that's probably why I'm getting censored. But what am I showing you the last few days? We're literally seeing our cities go to nothing. We saw Canada cancel Christian events for Muslim events. We see that our cities are allowing New York shut down all of Times Square to have a prayer service for Muslims. And they're literally saying death to America. So I love the fact that he's kind of calling France he called Europe out, but he also called France out. Said, look, you're taking their money, so now you want to kowtow to them, but ultimately what you're doing is you're allowing your country to falter. Remember, France, Britain, both just took in hundreds of thousands from the Middle East for asylum pleas. You don't think that's going to change a country? You don't think it's going to change America if we did that too? It's ridiculous. Pay attention. I love what Trump was doing. He was dropping bombs. Not only trying to help you save money, not only trying to tell you what we're not going to do, he also said, here's some list information. Now, we're going to talk about what the niece said in just a few moments, but first I want to go to what Elon said about Bitcoin and about crypto, because it goes right hand in hand with the central bank push. First, I want to read what the central bank push was, then we'll read what Elon just said.
The first thing you need to do is, you got to analyze yourself, but you got to help yourself. You have to bring in more income. Once you bring in more income and make yourself still live at the same level that you're living at now, and then you can clear your mind a little bit to start figuring some of this stuff out. That's what I did. So now on this Bitcoin thing, I'd love to hear about this, because I don't know what to invest in, and it's 50-50 on this Bitcoin stuff. I don't like it, to be honest, but I'm gonna look into it first.
I want you to listen to this. European central banker Lagarde admits that without CBDCs, central bankers risk becoming obsolete. The biggest players, you can call them Rothschilds, you can call them central bankers, you can call them the biggest of the Fed, everybody among us. If we're not involved in experimenting and innovating the terms of digital central bank money, we will be losing our role as the anchor we have played for so many decades. That means power over us, by the way. We have historical examples of periods where the central bank monetary anchors were not there. The certainty was the case when the free banking of 19th century. Do you want to go back to those days where we had no money? I would say certainly not. Our vantage point is we need to be the forefront of CBDCs. Now, this is where I always say you're ignorant when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto. It is the forefront and the foreplayer for CBDCs. Why do you think central banks, why do you think the people that we consider evil, the BlackRocks, all these big players, all these big bankers, JP Morgan, all these are now getting into stable coins and buying loads of Bitcoin and crypto? Why do you think they're playing in these fields? Why do you think Larry Fink is now building up that ETH and that Bitcoin's going to go to the moon? Because he knows that if he controls that market too, just like he controls the stock market. See, he doesn't have to own the stock market. He controls the heads of the stock market executives, the C-suites, because he has those voting rights. You don't believe that's going to happen with crypto? The more he buys, remember, there's only a limited, quote unquote, limited a number of Bitcoin. You don't think he's just going to keep on buying it to a point where he has the biggest footprint in the field? And all of a sudden he brings on someone like MicroStrategies and they come right beside him because they're going to make him billions. Come on, guys. Pay attention. Elon Musk, the smartest and richest man in the world. Of course, you may not like him, but listen to what he says. I thought this was huge. He did an interview. He said, I'm not going to be promoting crypto. And what it is people were thinking he was promoting crypto, and probably it's a lot of fake scams and all that. But he said, at most, it may be in a joking way. If you see me pumping crypto, it's not me. I do think there's a merit for Bitcoin. He said, it's sort of a soft spot because I like Doge, because I just like dogs and memes. So what he was basically saying is, look, you're not going to see me pumping any of this stuff. If anybody's pumping it and they're putting my name on it, it's not me. So first of all, he just wants to stay out of trouble because all these pump and dumps, all these are schemes. But not only that, he's saying, look, really what crypto started as, really what Dogecoin started as, which was Elon's push, he said it's really just memes, funny, collectibles. He said, I'm not saying there's not a place for digital currency. He's basically saying, look, it's not a place, there probably is a great place for Bitcoin. You could probably make a lot of money in it. He said, but ultimately, you're not going to see me promote it because there could be something behind it. To me, I look at it as a joking thing. So if he's not even taking it serious, and yeah, he may buy some, he may make some, he may blow some, but ultimately, the last story proves my point with all these people pushing towards crypto, including both sides of the aisle. The more they push towards crypto is basically the more they're pushing towards digitized forms of a dollar. They're not going to take away from your dollar, they're going to take away from your cash dollar to make it a digital form. You don't believe it? It literally happened before your eyes. Did you hear what the central banker said? She said, we cannot rule over the people without the power of the digitized version. I.e., that's why they have billions, and that's why they're sinking billions into it, and that's why they're now becoming the biggest players in the space. BlackRock has now become one of the biggest players in Bitcoin. Look it up. Look how much they own. look how much power they have over the ETFs and how people have maneuvered their strategies towards the ETF versions, towards the BlackRock versions, towards the MicroStrategies versions instead of just buying directly from a blockchain of some sort. This new Genius Act, as much as they say it's not, it's probably going to be a backdoor for crypto to turn into digitized forms of a dollar. Stable coins, that's exactly what it is. Digitized footprints. And that just means you don't have a right over your own money. Prime example, and then we're going to move right on to the Epstein niece. China has officially banned several crypto firms, saying that it could be just a big Ponzi. I want you to listen to what this came out, and this came out just a few days ago. It says, we can take down cartels now by hitting them on all fronts. We can seize their drugs, we can seize their operations, we can seize their cash, but now we can even seize their crypto. Cartels are using crypto to buy precursors and bypass financial enforcement. However, we have found the loopholes, and now we can take it as well. And this comes from a Mexico-American push where U.S. Marshals can now seize this. And now China is saying that if they catch some of their people fooling with Bitcoin when they tell them not to, when they're fooling with crypto exchanges when they're not supposed to. Now, some they're allowing open, only the ones that benefit them. But they're saying some of these others, they're going to seize. Now, I thought you couldn't seize. I thought that money was safe. That's what we always heard, right? Well, you just heard from the American government, a Mexican government, and also the Chinese government that they can seize your assets. And crypto is the main one. Now, last story. This is crazy, guys. Now, this is something that I've been trying to do a little research on, but I wanted to share it. This is just alleged, but I think this was I thought this was crazy, and it actually makes sense to me. And we're going to get a little disturbing here, so let's jump into it. This guy wrote, he said, Jeffrey Epstein's niece exposed the fact that her family belongs to almost like a satanic worship and things like Baal. It says they are part of the Edomites, derived from Esau's lineage, mixed with Canaanites, where they worship Satan, sacrifice kids. It says, quote unquote, this is all biblical. They are who they say they are. I think the thing that freaks me out the most about this, and not freaks me out, but I find very disturbing is, we talk about the biblical times and how child sacrifice and just very evil things were going on. And now you look at this guy's power, and even though he is not alive anymore, and his confidants are, his name almost lives in infamy, as in, like, we can't speak ill of him. We can't talk about him. They'll talk about him, but then they'll shudder at every other thing, like the files. Nobody wants to release them, like the files. They'll release certain names. They'll do certain parts of it, certain facets of it. But what we may actually be finding out is that we're actually dealing with something very demonic, something very just evil. To me, if you're wanting to hurt a child, you're evil anyway. But man, I'll be honest with you. When you hear this coming from the niece, now again, this is all alleged. She may not know anything. But it kind of plays to the fact of exactly what was going on. I heard a guy say the other day that Epstein, this was from a third person story, he said there was people around him that said when they were around him, it was almost like an aura that he gave off. Almost a mysterious, evil aura. And when you think about that and all the stories you hear about this guy and how he had just piles of wealth, and people were giving him, $50 million homes, mega yachts, planes. And when you think about how in the Bible it talks about how the devil kind of rules over the world, this world, and that we shouldn't be of the world. Remember, that's scripture. When you start thinking about that, and it's like, he had everything that man could buy. He did everything, and everybody wanted to be his buddy. Now everybody don't want to be his buddy, but even from the Bill Gates, the Bill Clintons. They said there's a list. There's tons of lists going out now that's been leaked, and hundreds of names are on there. Tons of politicians, tons of billionaires, tons of all that. And even Trump lifting, saying some of these names. Remember, Trump did not deny knowing him. What I'm saying is this guy had an aura about him. And when you hear this story from this niece, this Miss Wick, it's like, wow. That is creepy, and as disturbing as that is, that actually makes more sense of how he had the power he had. Because it could have been evil. It could have been truly, biblical. And that's kind of scary. The scary thing is this, though. The cover-up's still happening. And we still hadn't really got the truth. And we may not. We may not ever know truth, especially if this kind of thing is true, that there's like cults. And it's causing for major problems and hiccups. Because what this lady was saying is all these people are involved in the same thing. And when you get down to the root of it, it's all evil. And that's when they used to say that if what Epstein knew got out, it would destroy our establishment, it would destroy our government. That might be why. Because the truth be told, it may be the fact that everybody has promised allegiance to this world and the evils of it to get rich and powerful. And that scares me. Now, let's go back to normalcy. If you're just a middle income family, trying to make ends meet, raising your family, trying to make sure your children are in church, you're in church, trying to do the right things, this kind of stuff is unbelievable. It really is. And you almost don't have time for it. All these stories, but when you start doing the dive and you start hearing these stories about all these players and backroom deals, and is this lady a man? Is this man a lady? Is this happening? Are they sacrificing? Where's the kids? When you start hearing all this, it may be because it's the evil one. It may be just disturbing because we're living in biblical times. And that's kind of crazy to say. I'm no prophet, by no means. I'm just a simple country guy living in Mississippi. But when you hear that story, it kind of makes sense. They may have, there was a comment that said they could have been of Jewish lineage, but not the Jews of Jesus, the ones that cast him out. Whew, it's crazy. Just something to look into, guys, and think about. I think that's why this list is getting so hard to get information off of, because of the biggest players and maybe the evil behind it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. More than anything, seek Christ. Find grace and wisdom in Him, because without it, this world is pretty evil. It's hard to go through. It's dangerous. But when we have hope and faith and joy in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, it's going to be okay. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless.
Yeah. That's a very great damn. Worse than me. Great video, great information, but it's a hard listen. Uncle Mike is a hard listen because I can go off into all these side streets instead of going straight down the point. See, I'm studying people. I'm studying people like a Dr. Umar. And I'm like, these people have studied, I think, 1, 2, you got beginning, middle, and end of your point. Move to the next point. Move to the next point. Sometimes he take 4 or 5 sentences with a couple of side streets to make a point, and you lose me. I'm trying to listen because you're talking about Bitcoin. I don't know what the hell you're talking about Bitcoin. But then with the Trump thing, the stories he's telling you, if you can take time and say, that's a side street, put it to the side. Get back on this. Okay, wait till we get on point. Okay, now you're on point. Now you're on point. Now you're on point. You lost me. You lost me. And I'm learning that myself because once I learn how to, I can't believe this man, Trump, this other man, the Bitcoin and all this type of stuff. I'm over here Googling Bitcoin now. Should you invest in Bitcoin or should you not? Because no matter what, for the last 5 or 6 years, that's all I've been hearing is people keep talking about this Bitcoin. It ain't. One dude told me he done made $800,000 off of Bitcoin, and he was starting off just like me. He said, "Man, I invested I was making money on YouTube, so I invested like $2,000, and then that $2,000 turned into $10,000." While I'm still making money on YouTube, and then I started my course. So I said, well, fuck it. I got this money. I'm gonna invest another $10,000 into it. So I put $12,000 into Bitcoin, and they see, 3 or 4 months down the line, his stock was worth like $200,000. Then it went to $400,000. I bought his course. to sell, the trade and sell on Amazon, man. I'm trying to make money doing this stuff. So once I find something that works, hello, Uncle Mike found something that works. Come on in, the water is great. And they still sitting there. Well, I start tomorrow. Well, I'm gonna do it next week. Well, right now I ain't got time. Why you ain't got time? Because you're working 2 jobs. Get it? Now I'm working 1 job. Get it? I don't know, man. But I know one thing. Something different got to happen, man. We can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different something new to happen. I'm gonna get on up out of here, man. Hey, tomorrow I'm flying out, so I got 2 more. I'm doing these videos just to put up my apology. I didn't know that. Y'all know, I'm just reacting to the videos, man. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. I ain't know the video was 9 months old. Peace out.